is that the COAB makes a recommendation, and then the city and the Department of Justice and the police department all talk about it between themselves and totally ignore the COAB. And at the end of it, they do whatever they're going to feel like doing without even talking to the COAB about what they spent a year and a half working on their recommendations. Now, why is that?
Well, but I guess I got to ask you why you just said that you think that we ignored you. I just told you that every recommendation that this committee made was gone through line by line when we looked at the mental health one, and then 2 weeks ago when we did the force one, we had a list of all the recommendations, and the Department of Justice and the City Attorney's Office made sure that every one of those was talked about, addressed, and acted upon.
Because the COAB
Tom, did you have something?
The COAB went back and forth for a year and a half talking about those things, and then they sent the recommendations to you. And then whatever it is you wanted to do with them, you never even told them. You ignored them, and if there's red line versions, how come the red line versions don't come back to the people that made the recommendations? That's what I don't understand.
I just want to jump in for a second, because something you said kind of set me off the wrong way a little bit, as far as we didn't hear anything. And as a city employee, I have sat in these meetings for almost 2 years now and participated in many of these conversations. I'm not the only Portland police officer that's participated in it. So to feel like the city or the city of Portland hasn't been committed to that process kind of diminishes the value, at least my value, my own personal value, of the time that I spend here at this meeting actually trying to participate. So I just want to put that out there, that all these discussions about all these policies has been done, and really some of it, in my opinion, could have been more robustly. So the recommendations, when they go back to the committee or go back to the DOJ, should feel like this is what we want, and it's either, either the DOJ, the COCO, and the city say, yes, this is good, or no, and why not, is kind of, it'll come up again. Like that policy will come up again. So there's those 2 points, at some point you have to make the decision, put the policy out. This committee is having an input, but it has a chance to have an input twice, an informed input, because we all sit here to have those conversations as advisors. So I'm just putting that out there.
So they're advisors.
Yeah, Tom.
Well, the point that Dan and Mike both made is, to paraphrase or restate it, we represent the community. We work very hard with the community putting together recommendations, largely in isolation, without support or resources, and frankly, largely without much input from the police bureau. Mostly, we've heard no comments except some negative comments on our recommendations. For the most part, it's been neutral. We never got support. We just got either silence or, positions adverse to our recommendations. But the point is, why are we not at the table during these discussions about the policies that are going to affect the community? It doesn't mean that we control what people decided at the table, but why aren't we there? And if you want the community to trust in these changes in the directives or whatever policies or whatever's at stake, it would make sense to me to have us involved at that critical stage. Because after the DOJ approves it, the city's going to have no interest in revisiting the issue, because they've gotten the blessing of the DOJ. And we need to be there now. And frankly, it's only been since the hearing, when there was some mention by Jonas about the DOJ actually doing some work on the force directives, that we had any idea that any work was being even done on it. But if work is now being done, we should be there. One, we have input, and two, to get the buy-in, to at least get some understanding and commitment from the community